All right. Now it is officially Happy New Year, whether you're in Australia or not. Last time we did this, we did it right before the whole change all over the globe. But I guess since we're now on the second day of it, we are actually in Happy Fading New Year. So I hope it's a good one, productive for you already, and full of great modding. Oh yeah, we got another exciting screen here for you. That's right, it is the EFS root directory. Yay! So we showed this before. I was just going to go really quickly through some of the things I showed in part one of this stream. If you have questions about that or anything else, feel free to ask them here. I do apologize for cutting off the top of the Galaxy editor in the stream before, so I've fixed that so it won't happen again. All right. So yeah, here's my root directory. If you're going to be modding, you're going to go into this mod folder and create something. Before I had one called My Mod. Now we've officially changed it to War is Heck. Da-na-na. And in here you see the DAT folder and the GAL folder. Data in here. Look at all that cool data. And GAL folder here. And as I mentioned before, I got to keep track of which paths you are working in. All right. So, the idea behind the War is Heck mod. And yes, when I look to the side, that means I'm checking the chat again. With the War is Heck mod, War's going to be a little more dangerous than it was even in the initial Emperor of the Fading Suns game. The idea behind Emperor of the Fading Suns is it is a grand strategy game. It's not like the classic 4X strategy game we start with like one weak unit, a colonizer or settler or something like that, and move it around. In Emperor of the Fading Suns, we specifically wanted you to start with really cool units to show what you could get later in the game. This was your elite core. This was why you were in a position to become prince of a royal house. You had this core unit. You had these great spaceships to fight on your behalf. And then you would use that to consolidate your power over your house, over a few planets, and then contest to become emperor. War is deadly. You can lose your nobles really easily. You can lose really cool units when you don't want to. But it's hard to destroy your cities, your fiefs. Units can often survive and run away and hide for a while and come back. Your nobles will recover, build that hospital, and they're back in the game in no time. I want War is Heck to be a little more deadly. This is the darker view of Emperor of the Fading Suns, which a lot of game masters like to play through with the tabletop game. I would see this a lot, and I enjoyed doing this as well as a GM, where the war really ruined parts of the known world. Oh yeah, I'm wearing a Siege shirt again, you're right. The war really wreaked havoc on things. And there were some elite units out there, but a lot of people just got slaughtered. If you've ever read The Once and Future King, they talk about the knights in their armor who can't be taken down, just walking through and slaughtering peasants. I wanted that sort of feel for it. Your nobles aren't going to be able to walk through infantry and just slaughter them. Blade Master is a little better, and so forth. We're going to play with some of that in this game. I want you to definitely be risking your nobles in action. You want to have the nobles go into combat non-stop. So, where are we going to start? Well, I also want to customize the house troops more. I want them to have more of this elite feel, units that really you can't get to later in the game. You really want to carefully husband your resources, keep them alive till later. But you still need to use them in order to assert your power. How much do you want to risk them versus conserve your might is one of those great choices I love to make in strategy games. When do I push? When do I not? You see me do this in a lot of my games, especially when I play Hazat. Where are they, Hazat? We're going to risk it now. In other houses, we'll be a little more careful. So, let's go into the Galaxy editor, shall we? And this time, I will make sure that you can actually see the top of it. Woo, look at that. Wait a minute, do I have two versions of it open? Which one are you seeing? Oops. Why do I have two versions of this? Of course, I was... let's see if I'm about to lose something here when I do this. No, okay, good deal. Yeah, that's always a danger. Make sure you only have one version of it open when you're working in one mod, two for multiple mods, etc. All right. So let's start by opening again. Got to be careful about the pathing. Go to C. Remember, you'll always start with the base one. We'll go to the Aurora's Heck mod, go to the gal folder, and look, there's a heck.gal. So let's go to the heck.gal. So right now, it's essentially the same as the classic Emperor the Fading Suns map, right? So look, all the cool stuff. We started playing around with the Lihalan last time. So I'm not going to change the planets that much. There'll be a few tweaks here and there. So we're going to go into, remember, when I'm right-clicking to edit these things. Let's see if we still have our noble in here. Nope, so we got to start it all over again. So we're going to start with this noble. I said I wanted each house to have one elite noble that they're going to be risking. This is that noble who is you and your retinue. I mean, you got bodyguards with you. It's not just one person, though. We don't define how many it is. Maybe it is just the noble running around, protected only by their shield as they wave their rapier. When I'm doing War as Heck, I'm going to think of it as a noble and a few elite retainers by their side. We've talked about this before, company size, regiment size, etc. What is the size of this battle? All right, so we saved this noble. There that they are. Now they are a elite noble. As I said before, I want to get rid of some of their other units, but I want to build up that core group. So if you remember, the Lihalan's core group is up in this fort. And oh, look at these cool units. We got a Das Tactic Officer. I liked it. So the Lihalan classically had these very, very loyal troops who would charge into the heart of battle no matter what it took. They might not be the best trained, but they were dedicated. They were ferocious. When they were on the offensive, and when people who weren't prepared for them, we talk about in, oh yeah, I should show you the books I'm working with today. We're going to be playing around with classic Legion of the Empire. And of course, Spies and Revolutionaries. Legion of the Empire, we talk about how when they invaded Rampart, how they took out the League forces accordingly, just that their dedicated troops just tore through the League troops who ran away finally. But when the Ducados came to Malignatius, they completely took advantage of the Lihalan fanaticism and created divisions in the group and so forth, and took the planet with their special forces that we'll talk about later. All right, so I'm going to give them some other elite forces and take away some of these. So for instance, I want to give them, let's go for land, and I want them to have a where's my assault tank? Hey, assault tank. All right, we got medium tank already. Why am I not assault gun? It's the assault tank. The assault gun's really nice too. I was playing around with this the other day. Why am I not seeing them? Tempted to give them an anti-personnel tank. That'd be very Lihalan to have. Where did my... Where? I was just doing this the other day. Assault tank. How am I not seeing you? Sorry about the dinging. Hope that's not annoying. You can turn off sounds, obviously. Okay, so we got medium tank. That is our Wolfen. Got the hover. All the hover, cool hover stuff. Anti-personnel tank, we know. Did I move you somewhere? Did I do something weird with this? Because I was just playing with this. It's always when you go on stream that the things mess up. Always the case. Oh, of course. Doi. It is the medium tanks. Watch this. Going to Wolfen. I can turn it into a pit bull because you need the Wolfen to upgrade. The Wolfen, the pit bull and Wolfen are both subcategories of the medium tank. Hey, yo, 8-Ball Maniac. Good to see you here. Hope you're enjoying some of your own modding, and I can't believe I was forgetting that. So we're going to turn this into a veteran pit bull. And turn this one into a veteran pit bull. Gonna go ahead and turn the wolfen. Let's do that into the let's go ahead and create the anti-infantry, anti-personnel tank I was talking about. That'd be a good addition here. So there we've got that at expert. Yep, so put that in. And now we're going to go take out this other just straight up wolf and we'll go away. We will take it out completely. Delete, yes. Oh yeah, that's right. We got to make sure only it is active to delete. That can be a pain when you have a whole bunch of units. You know what? I'm also going to get rid of the anti-tank gun and the artillery. I'll keep the flak. Again, I say I want to reduce their number of units for this. So yeah, the whole idea again is you're going to have less units, but they're going to be even cooler. You're going to be really trying to keep them alive. You'll see we're deleting a wolfen and those two other units. And we got all these others here. So yeah, pretty neat setup right now. You're going to be going to combat with 2 pit bulls, a reaper, and 2 smiters. That is an armored fist and a half for the Lee Halan. All right. We've already made that noble. Something I was telling you the other day. Save early and often. So, go back up to the star map. File, open. Save as. We're going to say, and again, we got to go back to that basic. Remember where your pathing is. Mod, war is heck. Gal. We're going to oversave the heck. Are you sure I'm all right? Yes, we want to overwrite it. All right, great. So let's go back into editing the planet. I might take out a few more units. Let's see. I like that palace being pretty well boof. Do have all that infantry. Pretty cool. Lab. Let's get rid of one of those. They don't need 2 militia in there. Though I did talk about the waves of Lee Halan troops just charging in. We'll delete it anyway. Again, want to reduce the overall number of troops at the beginning of the game. Yeah, there's no need. Oh, definitely want to get rid of these being all veteran. We'll keep the veteran PTS guns, but the rest. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Maybe even delete one of these. Let them keep that whoops, I guess I deleted the anti-tank gun. I was going to let them keep it, but the heck with it. No more anti-tank gun in the shield. Church! I don't think the church needs an arty. Let's get rid of the church arty. Factory! Tempted to put something else in here for them. We'll let them have all these troops in the factory. Yeah, sure. Again, the Lee Halan should have a whole bunch of troops. I don't think they should have a veteran artillery out here, though. We're going to reduce this one to green. Going to let them have that veteran elite flak. All right. So I think we are done with what we're going to want to do here. I'm looking forward to playing this. I want to go into combat with a couple pit bulls and a reaper and go charging forward into the fray. We're also going to leave them with their full space force. I like that. The 1 cruiser, 2 frigates, 2 assault landers, 1 bulk hauler, and 1 freighter on Byzantium Secundus. We're also not going to mess with the Byzantium Secundus forces for anybody. Let's go to Aragon now. So the Hazat are really about these elite troops, really well trained. I like their mix of units pretty well. They start with a big armored punch. I forgot they had so much armor. Let's start off in the palace again. We're going to make 1 noble elite. So let's do that. Every house is going to start with an elite noble. Got this nice retinue of infantry, good, well-trained troops. Again, going to cut back some of the stuff they have elsewhere. Maybe get rid of a couple of these militia. I might leave them with some of the lower tech stuff and give them more troops, maybe? That'd be interesting. Yeah. maybe give them more veteran troops and not the elite like Pit Bull. Still want to give them something pretty cool. Maybe we'll give them one Pit Bull. I think that's a good idea. So you got this veteran militia. Veteran militia is not really all that great, but hey, kind of Hazat appropriate. Now, I don't think that everything should be veteran, so let's green some of this stuff. Make them noobs. Let's change one of these Wolfens into a Pit Bull. Let them keep some other Wolfens. Maybe knock one of these anti-tank guns to green. All right, so I don't have as cool units as I gave the Lihalan, but their troops will be more experienced. Not all of them. I again want to have a lot more greens out there. I want folks to be trying to get that experience. Yeah, we green that one. The mine. Yeah, more of these should be green. Sure. Kind of amusing to have these veteran militias and green other stuff. All right. All right. Okay. Oh, one other thing I want to do on this planet. I am going to be doing something cool later on about letting folks, the rebels, activate these ruins earlier. But this is a ruin that will be activated whenever these rebels come charging on out. So I'm going to move this ruins. Move it down to here, to a place where it's less likely to be activated by the rebels. So what I do is I do delete on, click. I do delete off, click. I'm going to go to building. And we are looking for... I got to remember how I put down the ruins. There it is. Right there. You can move the ruins down to there. Less likely to be activated in the beginning turns of the game. So I do want rebels to activate ruins earlier. Right now, rebels won't start activating ruins before turn 50. In War is Heck, they can activate at the beginning of the game, and I'll show you how to set that when we get to the DAT files. All right, so that's a pretty cool look. I actually want to give each of these another really cool infantry now that I think about it. That'd be nice to give them a cool infantry. All right, let's go back to this fort, right? We have this lovely fort with lots of units. They don't have an officer. The Lihalan start with an officer. That's kind of their elite infantry unit. We give them more of the armor. That's right, because we expect the Hazat to throw their nobles into the lead with these. Tempted to take out the Wolfen and give it a really cool infantry. What kind of infantry would I want to give them? Let's see. Not going to give an Inquisitors. Not going to give an Assassin. Certainly not. Special Forces? That'd be pretty neat to give the Hazat a Special Forces unit. That would be neat. Powered Armor Legion. You got a couple already. An Assault Legion. That makes sense. Let's give them an Assault Legion. Yeah. All right. We're going to place an Assault Legion in here. Make it an expert, a veteran. Let's take out one of those other Wolfen. All right. That means we got to go D, and delete. All right. I like that. They've got their force. Yes, people might be noting I'm not doing a points balancing yet. This is my early play around with it. And see, I'll point balance stuff later. Not yet. And one of the interesting things when you're setting up starting units is one of the way we balance units in game is how much tech you have to take to finally research them. So if something takes a little bit of tech, that is a higher value than something that requires a lot of tech, right? But in this case, you don't need the tech. You're starting with these units. So I will balance them later on. All right. So we've got the Zot done again. Save early, save often. And let's go look at Delphi. Edit planet. All right. Now, let's start again with the noble, so I never forget that. There's one elite noble. See, their troops don't have that veteran status. I'm going to change that on their infantry. Ooh, I could give them a heavy infantry. Give them fanatics. I should give a fanatics to the Lee Halan. You're right. I absolutely should give fanatics. One of the Zot nobles could become a blade master. If I do blade master for one, I got to do it all for all. Yeah, that is a really nice power. I was talking about that in the last stream, how cool the blade masters are. And I'm really tempted. Give each house a blade master at the start. Put the blade master on Byzantium Secundus. Do you take them off or not? When the fighting starts, those duels get nasty. All right, let's get all these up to veteran status. Okay. I think in all of the groups, I will let their palace force be expert. That's kind of the elite troops other than that attack force. 8-Ball Maniac, any other insight comments? Quite welcome. Yeah, I like that. A lot of inexperienced units there. Church, yep, no experience there. The shield. This is where the Hawkwoods have a really cool thing. They have 2 fighter airplanes. Lots of cool exploring. I like that. But I want to also show players other cool things they can have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade one to a Wyvern. That's the really good fighter. But see, I'm not giving it experience. And, give him a Wyvern and a Griffin so you can see the difference immediately. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Maybe I should make the first one a Griffin so that new players to this, they accidentally don't land and won't be upset when they lose the Griffin is when they lose the Wyvern. That's for them to learn. All right, so there's one cool thing they've already got, is 2 fighters. And now we got some experienced folks. I don't even experienced units in the lab. It is the Hawkwood, sure. They have experienced folks guarding their lab. All right, now that fort force. They got another Das Tactic. 2 Tiger Lilies. I don't remember them having 2 Tiger Lilies. I love Tiger Lilies. That's the scout tank. I'm sorry. I should have. I've kept my old DAT files. I'll be changing that over. Wolfins. They've got an anti-air tornado. That's really handy. I forgot about that. I want to give them a pit bull as well. So let's change this wolf into a pit bull. I don't think I want them to have 2 Tiger Lilies. They got the Griffins. In fact, I'm going to get rid of both Tiger Lilies, I think. Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'll give them 2 pit bulls and get rid of both of those Tiger Lilies. Sure. So they do have the officer class. The one thing we talk about, again, in Legions of the Empire, is that the Hawkwood have a very good training program for their troops. So it takes their troops a little bit longer to get ready, to get experience, but they've got a good... They don't have as many troops. Maybe that's what I should do. Yeah, so let's take away some of these units to show that. But they do have this one very cool officer. Yeah, I'm going to go back and give the Lihalana Fanatics. I'm going to have to give the House Hawkwood a really cool unit too. So let's start by getting rid of... I'm going to get rid of one of their Wolfen too. Get rid of the 2 Tiger Lilies and the Wolfen. Now let's get them a cool infantry unit. Powered Armor Shock Legion. Ooh, Shock Legion. Actually, Special Forces. Getting the Hawkwood, definitely getting them the Special Forces unit. I like that. Special Forces into the fort. That's good. I like that. I like that. I don't need all that artillery. Let's get rid of at least one of the artillery. And a militia. We've already done the factory. It's in the well. Yep, I think that looks good. All right, I like this. I like this. Some neat units in place. And the reason I had spies and revolutionaries here was that I was going to pull out and talk about the different house units that they've got within their special forces. So the rookery, the Hawkwood Rooks, as they're called. There's this elite combat force. What are they called again? Sorry, looking up. Should have had it marked already. Hawkwood Rooks. We had a special name for them. Well, I tell you what. Let me go look. Back in Legion of the Empire. Maybe we defined them there. The Hawkwood Cadres. During peacetime, they keep the military small, except for on hot spots like Lemminkainen. Guess we don't... we had a good name for their elite forces. Should have pulled it up earlier. Like we have the Ducados Cossacks, which I'll be talking about when we do their planet. We do... when we go to Severus. All right, well, anyway, we now have special forces for the Hawkwood. All right, I like this Hawkwood layout. Go back to the star map, save there. Always save from the star map. Yep, just did it. Don't have to save it twice. Now we are going to go to, let's go to the Ducados since we're just talking about them. Edit planet. All kinds of neat stuff over here. The we started the Ducados off with these ships as well, because of it being the rising tides of that planet. Again, I don't want everyone to start at veterans, so let's green some of these. And again, I'm going to green all their militia. The way that the Ducados are defined, they like to send waves of meat attacks in with special forces, elite forces behind them, so that these guys soak up the damage, and then the really good troops come in later. So none of their militia. Oh man, I forgot we got Bomber and a Dragonfly. They got good planes. Give them one pit bull as well. They have an officer as well. That's pretty good. Where did we give them an infantry? I thought we started them with a really cool infantry unit. Is it in the palace? Yes, there you go. The Chemical Shock Legion. Woohoo! There's our Cossacks, as well as our Jacobian spies. They're the own start spies. They have less infantry at the start of the game. We should make that infantry expert. We don't want... That cracks me up. We gave them elite militia. No. That's funny that they were elite militia. All right, like we said, we want the troops in the palace to be really good protectors. Oh, wait. Their nobles are... Why are their nobles expert? That's right. We talked about the... in the base game, the Ducados do start off with less stuff. They got some weirdly freaky stuff. But their nobles were veteran because they're always dueling with each other. The constant infighting of House Ducados has made them all veteran. In this case, we're going to go with the standardized format, though. One elite. Ducados are fond of artillery, too. You're right, 8-Ball Maniac. That's a great point. And now that I just took away their... I've already got 2 Smiters. I can turn one of these into a assault gun. That's a great point, 8-Ball Maniac. Glad you're in the chat to share that. That is something we talk about, how much they will just blow everything up. So let's change one of these Smiters to a assault gun. Where's that lovely assault gun? There it is. Or even rocket artillery. Get some multiple rocket launcher systems out there. Oh, I'm tempted. No, they're not starting with a plague gun. They're not starting with a plague gun. Assault gun? Maybe? Look at those stats for the assault gun. Indirect 580. Oh, yeah. 740 direct, but that 580 indirect. All right, let's I should go ahead and compare it. I don't really remember what the rocket artillery stats are. Indirect 775. No, I want the one that misses more. We're going with the we're gonna go with the assault gun. Yeah, I know the rocket artillery, the Howler, is also very Ducatos, but I like that assault gun. So, all right, let's go back to the assault gun. We're going to put in the assault gun. Oop. The medium artillery, the assault gun. All right, there we go. Yeah, no, that was a great idea, 8-Ball Maniac. A pit bull and a violator. All right, we're going to have to get rid of one of the smiters. All right, I like that. I like that. They still have their C units. Very helpful for getting out to these islands. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and all their other stuff is pretty, yeah. Noobs. Noobs. Oh, wait, we don't have any unit in here. Don't know why. But yeah, there's not a single unit in that farm. Leave it that way. It's funny. Gonna green that artillery. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. And who do we have left? The Al Malik. So star map. What do we do first? We save. Then we go to Istakar. So now what I want here is I want them to have some really cool toys. We saw the planes and the like. The Al Malik have lots of cool tech stuff. But yeah, their troops don't really fight a lot. They're not the best trained. So we might not have all those. Yeah, so that's why you see in here all of these units. When we did the base game, these Al Malik units started off without experience at all. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and make the folks who are in the palace at least veterans, and we're going to have that one elite noble, not an elite anti-tank gun. All right. Now you'll see that when we go to the fort, they also do have an officer, but none of their troops were experienced. We're going to change that around. We're also maybe going to keep a few of them not experienced in order to bring in some more cool units. So we will do a veteran pit bull, but let's have a green pit bull as well. Oh, maybe we should give them the rocket artillery. That'd be cool. Yeah. I like that. Give them a green rocket artillery. Where's my rocket art? There we go. Put you in there. That's funny. Let's get rid of one of those smiters at least. I'm getting rid of both of the smiters, actually. Because I'm going to give them a dive bomber. So, let's go see a dive bomber. I like that. Put a dive bomber in the factory. And let's make it a Banshee 2. Yeah. But make it green. Oh, that's almost mean. Because if it hits a bunch of AA somewhere, it is in trouble. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, again, some green units here. We got that Banshee in the factory. I'm tempted to put something else in the factory. Oh, we haven't given them an elite unit yet either. Maybe another powered armor. That'd be kind of Al Malik-like. Let's see. Powered armor. Heavy. Maybe we'll just give him a heavy. A ranger? That would be really... Yeah, let's give him a ranger. Put that in the fort. Will not be a green. It'll be an expert. That's pretty nice. Yeah, but they don't have the experience of the others. I've given them some really cool units, but not the experience. I believe the Almalik had the most capable air force at the start of the war, too. You're right. You're right. Maybe I should give them another air unit as well. Give him a Griffin to support that? Sure, let's give him a Griffin to support. Not a Griffin, a Wyvern. Let's give them a Wyvern like we gave House Hawkwood. Now I'm starting to feel I unbalance these guys a little bit, so I'm going to have to think about that. All right, sorry. Or maybe I give them the Strat Bomber? Take away the Dive Bomber? Decisions. Oh, I love this part of modding. Like I said, these juicy decisions are the fun part of playing the game and making the games. Which will be best? That's why we have these point balancing to figure out what the actual cost should be and value is. But hey, this is more to try it all out. So should I put in a strategic bomber? That's a huge range. But the Griffins and Wyverns have a big range too. Sure. Let's do the Strat Bomber. Again, a green one. And a fighter. Okay. A Wyvern also. And now we're going to get rid of that Banshee too. All right, so I think that is the best Air Force now. They've got both a Wyvern and a Devastator. So I think we really do have the best Air Force here now. Yep, I like that. I like that. I like that. That's a pretty cool force now. Okay, back to Star Map and file save. All right. So pretty cool. Now we're actually going to change stats for all of these things. How are we? We're 3:37. We're 30 minutes into the stream. Let's do some stat changes. Let's change some things. I'm going to go back to that exciting that folder again. Give me a second to change screens correctly. All right. Here we go. I think. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. So we're back to the mod folder. You see we just edited the heck.gal, so that's all been updated for us. Let's go back to Where's Heck to the DAT folders. All right. Each of these does different things. The agility DAT talks about how agility is impacted in different terrains if you want to modify that. Not doing that today. You can modify the alien ruins, what you find in them. Not worrying about that right now. What kind of production arboriums give you? Not worrying about that right now. Damage is a fun one, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Different damage ratios. Not dealing with that part right now. EFS. This is the big one. This is where a lot of details are included that you're going to want to modify for your own. A lot of this is big global gaming stuff, like global affects everything aspects. There's the music on when you start, video on when you start, leaving all that stuff as is. What the defaults are. These are all default settings that I'm glad to pretty much leave as they are for Roar is Heck. How much money it takes for the Third Republic to be declared. If you want it to Third Republic to happen later, you up this number. If you want it to happen earlier, you lower that number. interest rate loans, etc. Now we're getting to the fun stuff. Movement, combat. Here's one of the things I definitely want to change. The structure attack divisor. This is a divisor used to limit attackers' weapon strength to structures if the values and damage ... aren't specific. So we want structures to take more damage in this game. We want them to die more quickly. So I think if we go to 1, hit more. Let's change the divisor to 1 for damage. And this should allow them to get damaged more quickly. And again, something we said before, save early, save often. All right, how much damage your spaceships take on landing? I'm going to leave there. Camo, difficulty, leaving those. This is something I'm going to change. I want more reason for you to have your nobles along, right? So this is the loyalty bonus if you have a noble along and an officer along. I'm going to change the noble bonus, not for agility, I'm sorry, for loyalty to a 40. Give you more reason to want to include nobles with your attack force. All right, officers give 28 bonus, and then there's also the accuracy bonus and the agility bonus. We'll leave that as is. I'm tempted to reduce the noble agility bonus. They just charge in. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That hurts nobles too. It makes nobles more likely to die. They're suddenly less agile. City rebellion loyalty, when cities are likely to rebel. Not going to change that yet. That could be fun. Healing. I will change this. I'm going to make it slower for cities to heal. I'm just going to knock it down by 1 for now. And give units less healing in cities. Let's knock that down to 11. Unit healing rate is currently 2. I'm going to leave that like that. Same within orbit. There's this medic thing. I don't have any medics in the game. Probably not going to include them. I'm not going to change plague. Plague is already deadly. League's pretty cool, so I'm not worrying about changing that. The church is something I'm going to do. I'm going to increase the amount of time that you're excommunicated to 7 turns. If you're excommunicated for 7 years. This is the value, how much more the church likes you if you sign that holy writ. I'm going to increase also the damage if you're excommunicated, your loyalty. You're going to see a lot of rebellions if you're excommunicated. I want you to use more tithe skimming. I mean, you need money in this game because you're not going to be taking stuff as quickly, I don't think. I want there to be more tithe skimming. It might decrease the dislike factor to 15. Number of inquisitors to build, assault landers, etc., etc. The patriarch, your death factor. That's randomizing factor, as you see. Chance to change. I'm not going to change combat drugs. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to change the text right now. Prescribing clergy. I will do this. I will give you a bonus if you have clergy to the skim. Again, I want to go ahead and increase the likelihood you'll skim from the tithe. All right, these timers are how long before you see stuff, how long before you pause before going to the next group, etc. Not changing any of those. Don't think I'm going to change any of these. I'm not going to worry about any of the debug settings. All right, very cool. So let's save that. That's the EFSI&I. You see a lot of the global things, a lot of things that affect everything in the game right there. You'll likely want to change some of those. Farm, we've got these for each of the different resource generators. Talk about how much resources they generate. I'm not going to be changing any of them. Player table. Yeah, this is a lot of interesting things you can change for each faction. If you want the houses, they each be even more unique, you can change it here. One of the things I'm going to change, I talked before, here's year player can attack ruins. And I already said that I want this to happen right off the bat. So we're going to say 2 instead of 50. And for spacing reasons, we'll change that. The players can all start them anytime they want to. The Imperial Guard, the Fleet, the Stigmata Garrison, the Eye will not start them. Ooh, I want the Stigmata Garrison to activate some. If you don't have the Guard, someone's hands by 10, they're going to start activating those ruins. I like that. I like that. That's fun. Yeah, so starting difficulty, so you can change all these specifics for each player. That way, if you really want the rebels to have to use food, you can turn on the eating and you'll see the rebels die really quickly. So we're not going to do that. All right, but I like those changes we made for Warriors Hex, so we'll save that. Close it off. Not going to change the production stuff. This is what you have to make other resources. Not worrying about profile, the random gal. We're not going to change the random galaxy. I'm going to keep the relics as they are. This is resources res, not res files, but resources in the game. You can change what you say about them. Road costs, not going to change. Not going to change some of our rooms as sects. I do want to change the sect bonuses. Like I said, I want to reduce healing, which is going to make the Almatheans even more powerful as a starting sect. Brother Battle, a lot of people complain about, are too powerful. So I'm going to reduce their, get rid of their city healing rate bonus altogether. Yeah, Sanctuary Aeon, the Almatheans have all those healing bonuses. That's going to be more important in this game. They're going to be a more attractive sect to play in this game. And they do well against the plague. So the same with the mendicants, the hesycasts, as it were. Mendicant monks are the hesycasts. Research rate. Yep, Brother Battle of Vestites have that negative to the heal to the. Ooh, that's something I was thinking about doing, was changing the sects for the on the Galaxy Gals, where you change the sects for each of the houses. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I might go back and do that in my next pass. All right, so I like that change right there. So let's save that. Their planetary production bonuses. Vestites make a whole lot of food. Tempted to knock that down. But they have all those negatives for like Exotica. I'm gonna get rid of their negative for doing Exotica. But I'm also gonna reduce their food bonus a good bit. Biochems, wetware, yeah, that's good to have them reduced. Eschatonics have that bonus making those things. To give the Sanctuary Aeon more bonuses on wetware and biochems for the healing side of it. Oh man, the Incarnates have that Singularities bonus, Gems bonus. Forgot about that. Yeah, Incarnates are more tech favorable, as you can tell. All right. Loyalty bonuses and like healing rate bonuses. That is a huge bonus for SAE. For Sanctuary Aeon. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, seeing Sanctuary Aeon being a more important part of this one. Might leave a lot of these others as are. Yeah, Sanctuary Aeon, better armor and side defense. Miscellaneous bonuses, that ruins bonus. I want everybody going into ruins early. I want to encourage everyone to go into the ruins early. So everyone is going to get a ruins bonus. Eschatonic ruin bonus is already pretty high, so I should give them something else. I will give them a 1 on the healing rate. Again, healing is going to be very important in this new version. Carnates get a 10. 5. 5. No bonus to the symbiote Serval. All right. Everyone's now encouraged to start that ruin stuff early. Ruin exploration will be more important in this game. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that did just reduce one of the main eschatonic bonuses. They're the ones you always want to if you're going to go ruin popping. Maybe I should give them a 2 on the healing rate. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we'll see how that does. All right, I'm going to save off the sect.dat. Yeah, I don't think we want to do anything here in the stock that the league maintains. Where you can build things. I don't think I'm going to mess around with that one. I could reduce the armor. I like that. We've given these things a lot of defense if you're in the cities. We can reduce that city defense. I like that. I like that. I think I'm going to do that. Reduce a lot of these to maybe, let's try at 175 if they were 200 before. We'll make it 125. It was 150 before. Yeah, this is why it's dangerous to attack symbiotes in a hive, that 250 armor. Vow City 500. I forgot about that. Yeah, don't attack the Vow in their own cities. 200 in a fort. I think that's legit. 100 in Starport. I don't like ruins being 200. That's just too much. I'm going to reduce that to 125. Again, I want you popping ruins in this game. War as heck, you want to take risks. I think this shield I'll leave at 150. That needs to be something you can defend well. Yeah, and obviously, this doesn't actually give you a bonus. That's to protect you. See, so what happens here? There's an armor for the city, and then there's your bonus for being in it. 2.0, 1.5, etc. Here, the resources, because they're things we put on the planet, they count as structures. They need to have an armor you can't destroy, but they don't need to give you the units a bonus. The units get no bonus in them. Okay. All right. I think we're good here. Just taking a last look around. Not going to change the upkeep costs. All right, cool. Structure build, save. All right. Weapon target table. I don't think I'm going to change that. Which weapons can target what types of vehicles. I'm not going to mess with the tech at all. I like the tech tree as is. Terrain color chart we're not messing with, obviously. Terrain cost. The traits we're going to leave as is. What traits you have at the start of the game. Unit.dat. How much time do we got? 3:53. Yeah, we want to make much change here, but I'm starting to run out of time. So I might skip this. Let's see. I really was thinking I'd play War as Heck during my next live stream on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to end it now because I'm running out of time. I still have the unit.dat, which is a big one I want to show you about editing because everyone wants to change the units. Everyone wants to change the units. So I might show this at the start of the next stream. and then get into actually fighting it. I like that. Yeah, I like that. All right. So tune back in Sunday, same time. We'll do this again. And we'll actually, I hope, play some more as heck. Wait. There was one thing I forgot to do. One more thing. Let us go to that map editor. Go to that map editor. I wanted to put down a fanatic, didn't I? On Kish. So edit planet. Let's head over to that fort again. Change you land. Oh no, just an infantry. Wait, there's infantry in there, isn't there? Stop that. You do not have an infantry in here. All right, I'm going to put an infantry in here and make it a fanatic. All right. So, put an infantry in there, make it a fanatic, make it a veteran, accept. And there we go. Fanatic. Oh, there's a Lehalon in action. All right, now we'll save it off again. Let's go up to the Starfield, save from here. Save. All right, that's what I wanted to show you. Hope you enjoyed. Join me again on Sunday, and we'll see how much heck war actually is. Take care, everybody. Much fun as always.